Have you ever wondered how the Philippines, a country with over 7,000 islands, came into existence? A journey through time takes us back to the Philippines' ancient era, where it all began. Around 30,000 years ago, the first wave of settlers, the Negritos, arrived in the Philippines via land bridges. These dark-skinned, curly-haired settlers were skilled hunters and gatherers who adapted to the rich, diverse environment of the archipelago. Their presence marked the first human footprint on the Philippine Islands. As centuries passed, the arrival of another wave of settlers took place. Around 3,000 years before Christ, the Austronesian people migrated from Borneo and Sumatra. These settlers brought with them a new culture, language, and technology. They were skilled seafarers and excellent farmers, cultivating rice and domesticating animals. Their advanced knowledge in pottery and weaving also added color to the cultural tapestry of the Philippines. In the midst of this cultural fusion, early societies started to take form. The Baranganic states, a term derived from the word barangay, the basic political unit in the Philippines, began to emerge. These societies were small, independent states led by a datu, or a chief. They were organized, self-sufficient, and had their own unique laws and customs. The Baranganic states were not isolated from the rest of the world. They engaged in active trade with their Asian neighbors. Indian and Chinese influences started to seep into the Philippine society, shaping its culture, politics, and economy. From the Indian Sanskrit language, religious practices, and political concepts to the Chinese's trade goods, art, and culinary traditions. These foreign influences enriched the Philippine society, making it more vibrant and diverse. As the first millennium came to a close, a new epoch in Philippine history was about to unfold. The ancient era set the stage for a complex and exciting narrative, a tale of resilience, adaptability, and cultural fusion that continues to define the Philippines and its people today. The dawn of the second millennium brought with it waves of foreign explorers, forever changing the course of Philippine history. In 1521, a bold Portuguese explorer named Ferdinand Magellan made his mark. Sailing under the banner of Spain, he arrived on the shores of the Philippines, marking the start of over 3 centuries of Spanish rule. This period was characterized by a profound cultural transformation, as the archipelago embraced Christianity, a faith that continues to shape the nation's identity today. But the Spanish did more than just introduce a new religion. They brought with them the galleon trade, a lucrative maritime route between Manila and Acapulco. For over 200 years, these galleons sailed across the Pacific, laden with silk, spices, silver, and stories. This trade route didn't just bring wealth to the Spanish Empire, it opened the Philippines to the world, connecting it to global commerce and sparking a cultural exchange that forever enriched its society. Yet, as the Spanish influence grew, so did the Filipino desire for independence. By the late 19th century, the winds of change were blowing across the archipelago. The Philippine Revolution, led by the likes of Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Aguinaldo, erupted in 1896. It was a bloody struggle, a fight for freedom, and it marked the beginning of the end of Spanish rule. But the end of Spanish colonialism didn't mean the end of foreign dominance. The Spanish-American War, a conflict that stretched from the Caribbean to the Pacific, saw the Philippines caught in the crossfire. In the aftermath, the Treaty of Paris was signed, and the Spanish ceded the Philippines to the United States. The dawn of the 20th century saw the Philippines under a new colonial power, setting the stage for a tumultuous century. Despite the change in rulers, the spirit of the Filipino people remained unbroken. Their story of resilience continued, and their journey towards self-rule pressed on. The 20th century was a period of great turmoil and change for the Philippines. The dawn of the century saw the islands under American rule, an era characterized by the introduction of democratic principles, public education, and English as a second language. The American period, though not without its tensions, brought about significant modernization and changes in the social fabric of the country. But this period of relative peace was abruptly interrupted by the outbreak of World War II. The Philippines found itself under the oppressive rule of the Japanese Empire. The years during the occupation were marked by brutality and hardship, as the country became a battleground for the forces of the East and the West. With the end of the war came a new beginning. On July 4, 1946, the Philippines was finally granted its long-awaited independence by the United States. A new republic was born, eager to carve out its own destiny in an increasingly complex world. Yet, the journey wasn't smooth. The latter half of the 20th century was marred by the dictatorship of Ferdinand Marcos. His regime, notorious for its human rights abuses and rampant corruption, cast a long shadow over the nation. But the Filipino spirit proved indomitable. In 1986, the People Power Revolution, a peaceful uprising that drew millions to the streets, ended the Marcos dictatorship and restored democracy. Entering the 21st century, the Philippines faced numerous challenges, from political instability to natural disasters. Yet it also celebrated many triumphs. Its economy, once considered the sick man of Asia, has shown promising growth. Its culture, from food to music to cinema, has gained international recognition. And its people, always the country's greatest asset, continue to make their mark globally, whether in the fields of sports, arts, or science. The Philippines has a rich and complex history, a testament to the resilience and adaptability of its people. The history of the Philippines is a captivating journey, isn't it? Indeed, from the early settlers who first set foot on its rich soil to the dynamic society we see today, the narrative of the Philippines is one of resilience and transformation. We journeyed through the ancient times, tracing the footsteps of the early inhabitants and their harmonious coexistence with nature. We then navigated the colonial era, a period marked by the dominance of Spain and the United States, which not only altered the political landscape, but also infused the culture with a unique blend of foreign influences. The story did not end there. We dove into the modern era, a period marked by war, independence, dictatorship, and democracy. Each chapter, though fraught with challenges, has shaped the Philippines into the vibrant nation it is today, rich in cultural heritage and defined by an enduring spirit. From its ancient roots to its modern struggles and triumphs, the history of the Philippines is a fascinating testament to the enduring spirit of its people.